The objective for today is to give an opportunity. We've had the training for the area directors and division directors, and we have an opportunity now to just do informal, have questions that can be answered and provide encouragement for you to serve in your role as an area director. So I would like to have the panel members to introduce themselves. I'll serve as your moderator today. I will start with Wendy to give us your background in Toastmasters, as far as what roles you have served and what you are currently doing.
All right. Well, thank you, Linda. I really appreciate that. And good morning to everybody and happy Saturday. So hopefully everybody's got a really busy day ahead to enjoy the weekend. We're still getting those last summer days in, so enjoy. And as Linda said, my name is Wendy Simmons. I've been in Toastmasters since 2016. I joined because someone at Chase, I work for Chase, and said, Toastmasters would be really good with the help with your communication and leadership. I had been a manager for a few years and just kind of be stuck for a little bit. So someone said, please join Toastmasters. That'll really give you a boost in your career. And you know what? They were not wrong. It has been valuable. Within a couple years, I became a president. I've been a vice president of membership, vice president of PR. I've mentored people. I've really enjoyed it. But then I started dabbling into district leadership by being an area assistant for an area director for one of my mentors. I was an assistant and introduced me to the area. And I'm like, I want to do that. So I did. And that was a few years back. And I became an area director. I've served at the logistics manager as a district level as well. And so I did two terms of area director. And then I says, you know what, I think I want to be a division director. So last year, 2022, 2023, I became a division director. And then I loved it so much. And sometimes I think you're just getting your feet wet. I think a second term is a great idea because I was enjoying it, but it takes you a little while to get those pedals going. And I was on a momentum with Division C, and I was very excited. And I also wanted to just continue to work with the district. My passion, I'm very passionate about Toastmasters. I'm passionate about the engagement of the members and clubs. I'm passionate about the message and stewarding, what Toastmasters is all about, their brand, their education, everything about it. I just want to do my very best every single day. So that's why I continue to be a division director. And I love working with people. I love, help and support and give people resources to grow, including the clubs. As area directors, I'm a support system for our area directors. And I love doing that to empower them, to empower clubs, to help with engagement and help with the growth of clubs and members. So that's just a little bit about me. Thank you, Linda.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Wendy. We'll go to Steve Grant next. Please address the same question. What is your background in Toastmasters and what are you currently doing?
Okay. My name is Steve Grant. I've been in Toastmasters technically since 2007, although I had a brief stint in 1977 for a couple of speeches, and it took me 30 years to get back to Toastmasters. But in that time, I had done some teaching, and I had gone back to get my master's degree. And I felt like my speaking capabilities were somewhat atrophy. So a person where I was working at downtown Cincinnati says, why don't you join, see what's what. So I joined for the speaking, but I stayed for the leadership. I joined a powerhouse club. And it wasn't too long before I was an area governor that's what they called us way back. I guess it's this millennium, but a couple of decades ago. My division governor was a fellow that worked for Procter & Gamble. And so I thought, well, I might be able to swing a lunch at P&G because I heard all kinds of great things about going into their corporate office and how you couldn't really get in there. So I had lunch with my predecessor, and he says, oh, there's nothing to it. You got a couple of speech contests and this, and I'm thinking, he's not telling me everything. I know better than that, but I took it anyway, took up the yoke and thoroughly enjoyed both the area governor and area division governor. I decided to take a year off because they wanted me to do the lieutenant governor of marketing, which is the club growth director role now, and I just wasn't ready for that. The fellow that took that position could only take it for a year, so when he left, I jumped in at the second level, which at the time was lieutenant governor of education and training, and went on to be district governor. And just the whole trek was wonderful. When I became district governor, it seemed like anybody and everybody came out of the woodwork to help me. And I decided I really need to pay that back. And I've been paying it back for almost 10 years.
Well, great. Thank you so much. Luvenia Boyer, would you please address the same question? What is your background in Toastmasters, and what are you currently doing for District 40?
Well, thank you, Linda, and welcome everybody. I have been a Toastmaster since 2015. I joined Toastmasters because someone had suggested that because I was a new manager managing a large team, that Toastmasters would be a great way for me to learn how to communicate with my team, and also to help me to be prepared with communicating with executive management in my role. And so when I joined Toastmaster, like everybody else, I came in not really knowing what to expect. And I was going to come in and learn how to talk, right? That's what we do in Toastmasters. But as I progressed in my journey in the club, I got involved in being a club officer for public relations, and got an opportunity to really start getting to build a network of relationships with the members of my club. And I was introduced to the outside of the club because of the contest. And I had went to a couple of contests and thought, oh, wow, this is great. People are speaking outside of the club doing these competition things. And I actually competed in the contest and was fortunate enough to make it to the district level contest, where I was introduced to the conference, which took me into the whole world of the district. And it just really amazed me with just the level of experience that you found in the members across the district, and just all of the wealth of knowledge and information, and just the potential of what you can develop and become. It just really amazed me. And so I started serving on the Education and Training Committee, which people hear of, the DTC, and they help to prepare the TLIs and help with the club officer training and different webinars in the district. And it was great, really just getting to think about ways to help people to improve in their communication and leadership skills, and being a part of making that change. And from there, I became the Pathways Chair. Many of you may remember me tracking around the district as the Pathways Chair, just really helping people to navigate in pathways and be able to utilize their education program to get the most out of the program itself. And from there, I decided I wanted to get my DTM. And so I had became an area director, only because I needed the district credit, because I didn't have any desire to lead the district. I was very happy being a support person, helping people. But I served as an area director, and it amazed me because it took supporting people to a whole nother level. And when we think about leadership, a lot of times we really don't think about that experience that you get to make a difference in people's lives. And so that first year, as I served as an area director, and I really got a chance to have one-on-one relationships with the clubs and the members of the club, I really loved that aspect of the support in the district. And I served as an area director for 2 years, because like Wendy said, that first year you struggle through trying to figure it out. And then
Yes.
you go through the next year thinking, okay, now I figured it out. So now I can do the role. But then when you get in the second year, you realize you didn't figure it out because you're always learning. And so from there, I served 2 years as an area director, moved up into division director, and then I decided to take the journey and do the trio route. So I served 1 year as club growth director. Last year, I was the program quality director, and this year, I get the pleasure of supporting the district as the district director, and I am real excited to be able to just be able to network with the people. As you guys can see, I love the people, and serving in all of these roles gives you such a great opportunity to have so many relationships and have so much fun, and you learn so much from every single person that you connect with. And so that's my journey in Toastmasters.
Oh, great. Oh, thank you so much. So I think I should address the question as well. Many of you may be aware that I had served in the Air Force, and in 1980 timeframe, I was at a meeting with the general officer, and he scared me to death. He asked so tough questions. I wasn't presenting. I was just part of the team sitting on the sideline. I'm going like, oh, I've got to overcome this fear of defending to answer, to be adequate, because I'd see more senior officers than I at that time, a second lieutenant, quaking and their steps. So that's when I joined Toastmasters. I joined Kitty Hawk Toastmasters, the officers club. But after a few years, with a young family and everything, moving to the Washington, D.C. area, I left Toastmasters. But then many years later, it was in 2003, I was walking down the hall, and I was no longer an Air Force officer, but a person who worked as a contractor supporting the Air Force here at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. And I ran into a previous member of Kitty Hawk, Steve Smith. And he encouraged me to come back, and I did. And so when I came back to Toastmasters, I thought, I'm gonna go for it. And that time we had manuals. And so I thought, okay, I'm gonna work on my speeches. And as I was going along, then John Hayes encouraged me to be an area director. And I thought, John, how am I going to add one more thing onto my schedule? My schedule was the important thing. He said, Linda, you're organized, you love people, and I think you'd be great at it. And I kept turning him down. And then finally I said, okay, John, all right, you've got me. I would do it. I loved being an area director, and I had moved on after that to serve in other roles. But the one thing I enjoyed that summer being an area director, I got to go to all the picnics of all these clubs. And my children were teenagers. My son is more the quiet, reserved Superman. And then my daughter is the joy, and she'll tell you everything. Well, anyhow, she would always come with me to the picnics. So it was a lot of fun. And I got to see over a period of time, oh my gosh, my daughter as a teenager, when she would give some presentations in the youth group at church, wow, I'm going like, she's learning a lot just by coming along with me. So I have enjoyed my journey with Toastmasters. The thing that I really enjoy is the people that I get to meet, because we get to meet people from around the world, and not just in our career field. So we get to hear their perspective of what their life is like, where their career has taken them. So that's why I want to stay in Toastmasters, because I enjoy the people, and I need, like anything else, I need to keep up my practice. So let's see, Lamar King, you have joined us, and I would like to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself. And I understanding that you have just started serving as an area director. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, Linda. Thank you for that. Hello, everyone. My name is Lamar King. And as Linda may mention, yes, this is my first opportunity this is my first time being in this role as area director. I've been a part of Toastmasters off and on since 2013 or so. And I've been a part of a couple of different clubs. Currently, I belong to City of Columbus, and I have had the distinct honor of serving as Vice President of Education there. My first term of being there as a member, and then the second time around, I became secretary. Well, actually, no, it was Vice President, President, and then secretary, and now I serve in a role as Sergeant of Arms. I initially got into Toastmasters because, like many of you all, I wanted to work on my communication skills. I had aspirations at that time, and now what I'm currently doing is being a speaker professionally. And I had a mentor who made mention about getting into Toastmasters back when I was at Columbus State Community College. And, from there, I've been a part of the journey. And I see now Toastmasters as part of my lifelong journey to continue to develop my language, my communication skills, and also leadership opportunities. And so I'm well aware of how skills of this nature can transfer into everyday life with family, community, work. And it's just an overall experience where I can have value added to me, and that I can take that value and add it to various sectors that's a part of my life. So I'm excited to learn about what this role all entails and to build, like you all were saying as well. I heard somebody mention about relationships.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I am right now in my life, is building beautiful and wonderful and healthy relationships. So I'm all things healthy relationships and networking in that way. So glad to be here.
Okay, well, great. We have some questions that we would like to go through, but if you have any question as we go through, Lamar, let us know. The purpose of this webinar we will keep the recording and we'll put it on the District 40 website for other people to have the opportunity to hear our discussion today. So our first question I'd like to address, I will go to Steve Grant. What is the role of an area director?
It is to connect the club and its Toastmasters to Toastmasters International in the district. It's the direct communication link.
Okay, great. Next question to Wendy is in regards to the club visit by the area director. Can you explain what that is and give us a little bit of insight of how that is done?
All right, thank you, Linda. Club visits for the area director are really vital to empowering clubs and being a support and resource for the clubs. Like Steve says, it's the connection. And the area director is a vital conduit for that to ensure that the members can grow and know everything there is and know all the resources, because sometimes clubs or members don't know all the tools that are out there. So they're the conduit to make sure they get their resources. So that's what the club visits are about. It's about showing up and just getting to know them, building the relationships. We've all talked about building relationships, and that's kind of the core thing, is building those relationships and building the trust and building the foundation so you can build a partnership that everybody can work together to meet the needs of the members, whether they're going for a DTM or whether they're just working on their communication, or how to strengthen the members, and then also how to help the club. What do they need? It's not to tell them what to do, it's to listen to them. And I think listening is the biggest skill, is to be able to listen. what are their struggles? What are their pain points? What can we do to help them as area directors? And then give them the resources and empower them to help them, but not to tell them what to do, but to give them the resources and the knowledge and where to find things. Toastmasters International has so many resources out there. And not only do we have the resources of TI, but we have the resources of each other. So building the relationships between the area directors, the division directors, other club officers, other area directors, just building that network to do these club visits. So that's what the club visit's all about, is about building that foundation and building that relationship so we can help them get the resources they need to be successful. And just, that's it. That's about all. That's a lot, but it's about the it's about building the relationship so the clubs can grow.
Thank you. I'd like to acknowledge joining us is Judith. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Sorry, I'm just logging in. I used the link that I got early this morning, and it was the same one from a few days ago. And I sat there, and Louise Bishop sat there for a few minutes, and then we kind of logged out. So I apologize for being late.
Oh, no, that's okay. I'm glad. What we have done is introduce ourselves and also asking the area directors that are online to, would you introduce yourself, and we'll go from there.
Sure. So good morning, everybody. I'm going to claim that from now on, today is going to be the best day we ever have for all of us. Little things happen. So my name is Judy Kinney. I've been in Toastmasters since 2015. Been doing public speaking for Montgomery County as an employer since '92, but in 2015, they decided that I needed training. So hence Toastmasters has been one of the best things I've ever done. I waited until I retired in 2020. Since then, I've been president of Downtown Morning Toasters. This is my second term as VPE, which I thoroughly love, and giving area director a try here. I want to do the best I can. I've got some great people helping me out so that we can do the best we can for our clubs, working my DTM. Anything else that you want to know?
Oh, great. No, that's fantastic. Thank you. As we go along, I will let you, if you have some questions, raise your hand, get our attention. We'll see if we can address that specifically. Yes, over to Steve. I see your hand up.
My question was, what are the areas that you represent, Judy and Lamar?
I am in area A1.
A1.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm in area 25.
Congratulations to you both.
Great. Okay.
Or Wendy, what area am I in?
You're in area 25.
Okay, I thought I heard
Yep.
somebody say something, so I just wanted to make
Nope,
sure.
I said division. I just said division C.
Okay.
Area 25. You are correct.
Okay, great. I'll go on to the next question. One of the roles that the area directors serve is organizing the area speech contest. And I will ask Luvenia Boyer about her experience with organizing an area speech contest. Oh, what went well? And maybe what are some of the challenges of organizing a speech contest?
So thank you, Linda. Organizing a speech contest, it's a real good experience to learn how to manage a complex project. There's a lot of moving pieces with the contest. You have the competitors themselves, then you have the officiants, and then you have all of the other support things that you need to make sure that you can have a contest. For example, you need to have a facility. So you gotta work with that and work with also if you're going to do refreshments and things for people at the who attend the contest. So there's a whole lot of moving pieces with the contest. I think overall it's it really takes for you to really sit down and have a vision of what you would like to see the contest, and a clear vision from start to finish. That is like from the moment you turn the lights on and until the moment you turn the lights off. Like, what do you want that whole event to look like? And then to basically from step by step, what is it gonna take for you to have that done? And so for somebody who has never managed a project, this is a good experience to really learn how to collect your thoughts and get them together. And then sometimes you have to go back through, because as you're planning it, you may have envisioned something, but then once you get into the nitty gritty of putting it together, you may realize, okay, well, this doesn't really look or feel or seem like it's going to come together the way I had imagined it. So let me go back and regroup. The other thing is really just working with communicating with people, right? And communicating clearly. When you have people that's taking on multiple roles or different roles, there's information that some need that others don't need, and then vice versa. So you want to make sure that you have a clear communication plan for everybody who's involved. And that means sitting down and thinking through, what does the contestants need to know and need to have communicated? When do they need to know it by? And have a timeline as to how you're going to execute that communication. And then the same with your officiants, the people who are going to help you run the contest. What information do they need? And because each officiant also has a certain focus, because a judge is going to be handling certain aspect of the contest that timers will not be dealing with, and vice versa. So you want to have a clear communication plan as to what do the judges need to know, and what does the timer need to know, and when, and how to execute that communication across the board. And then it also takes you to have to really work on your people skills and making sure that you keep everybody connected, because even though everybody has an independent role in the contest, they all need each other in order for the contest to be effective and to happen. And so you still want to be that conduit to help tie everybody together, to make sure that the conversations that need to happen between the contest master and the contestants can happen effectively, to make sure that the conversations that need to happen between your timers and your ballot counters or your judges, that those conversations happen. And so it's a lot of moving pieces, but it's a really great experience. The first time that I did a contest when I was an area director, we were all in person. So my first contest was an in-person contest. I was an area director in Division H at the time. And that year we had decided that we were going to do a combined area contest. And so I ended up some kind of way becoming the contest chair for this big combined area contest. So it wasn't just my one area contest, it was 5 areas that was doing this contest together. And so I got that opportunity to fumble through it and to work out, but it did take me to really learn how to communicate my needs, right? Because even though I was the chair, I still had the other area directors and, in their teams helping to make sure everything was executed. So not only did I have to deal with making sure that the contest pieces were taken care of, I also had to clearly communicate to those who are helping me. And I think that's one of the challenges that I think we as humans struggle with. We struggle with letting people help us and communicating out to people what you need help with. And so that year was a good year for me to learn how to ask somebody, can you help me with this? And can you help me with that? And then to give them the empowerment to do it, because trust is also that other component, right? So if you give somebody a task to do something, you have to step back and let them do it. And that's also the challenge, to let it happen without you being too much in there. So it's learning how to manage it, to make sure that everything goes the way it needs to go, but to be away from being inside of the task enough so that the person who has that assignment has the flexibility to do it. And so those are my first 2 years as an area, doing the area contest. But then when I became a division director and helping my area directors to do their contest, this was the first time we were doing virtual contests. And so even though it was a totally different platform, those fundamentals still remain. Still having a clear vision, still thinking through each component of what it's going to take to do the contest. And it just really helps you to continue to develop those interpersonal skills with helping to oversee a project and give direction and give guidance and be a support all at the same time. And so either way, whether it's virtual, and now some contests last year was hybrid, even though the platforms are different, the skills and the process, it really it's all the same. You just navigate with what the needs are. Your needs in virtual are going to be different than your needs in hybrid, but you're going to sit down and think through what those are and have a clear plan for it. So that's my perspective on area contests.
Thank you so much. The next question is to Steve Grant. I'd like you to describe your leadership style, and have you seen it evolve over a period of time? Over to you, Steve.
Thank you, Linda. I view my leadership style as a servant leader for reasons that I explained earlier, having so much help when I got to the top and not asking for it. They just came out of the woodwork to help me. So I've continued to serve to help whatever level of leadership, to give them support. One example is training area directors in 4 or 5 different years in several different types of medium. I think that's really what it's all about.
Okay, thank you, Steve. The next question is for Wendy, is in regards to mentorship. We have a mentor when we're a club member, but in your journey in leadership, have you had mentors, and how have they helped you?
Thank you, Linda. That is a great question. Mentors. It's not about having one mentor, it's about having many mentors. When I first started Toastmasters, I had a mentor. Everybody knows Johnny Randolph. Johnny Randolph got me into Toastmasters. He was my original mentor. Now, there is a little bit of discrepancy between Derek Boyer and Johnny Randolph, who is my best mentor, because they like to take credit for the whole, when I started with Chase, because they both were with Chase. Team Toastmasters is where I started. So it's always this ongoing joke for like 7 years later, like, who's the best mentor? Well, the thing is, they are all great mentors. Johnny was originally my Toastmaster, but I have lots of mentors outside of Toastmasters, but from Toastmasters, I have many, and they just started it. I went from there and started building my network. And then I started finding different needs, and it started to evolve. I went to my very first speech contest in 2019 because Johnny Randolph said, do it. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, I'll just do it. But he knew I was ready, and we had a really good relationship, but I did. And I went there and I met some great people, and my network got bigger, and I added mentors, more mentors. And to this day, I still look up to those mentors. They're all in different directions. So when I went in to be an area director, somebody was mentoring me to be an area director, and I was working with them side by side and just giving me feedback and what I can do differently. And when it came to the district level, I had a mentor there. I joined an advanced club, and I have 2 or 3 mentors sitting over in my advanced clubs. So I think I have multiple, and they serve different needs at different levels. And then when I got into a division director, there was another mentor that helped me get to my division. And I actually look at everybody around me, whether they're an official mentor or not. I look up to a lot of different people and get feedback from different people. So each and every person, even on this call, can be a mentor to each other, even if it's not official. Because I look at, Steve Grant, and I look at Luvenia Boyer, and I look at Linda, and I received a lot of stuff from all of them as well. It's like maybe not an official mentor, but I gather that information. But it's about the relationship. It's about a relationship that you can have with somebody that can help you with whatever you're trying to grow on. And I have become a better communicator, a better leader, because when I first joined Toastmasters, my leadership skills, I was really struggling at work. I was not making that connection with my team. And I'm very open about that. But I have learned to be me. And I had to have a mentor tell me that it's okay to be me, and it's okay to ask for help. And it's okay to, failing is not the end all. Failing is just your first step, your first attempt at learning. So once you fall down, it's learning how to get back. And my mentors have taught me that. They've taught me confidence. They've taught me how to be myself. They've taught me to trust in myself, and taught me how to get back up. So having the mentors in all aspects of your life, whether it's personal, whether it's Toastmasters, or even at work, I have great work mentors as well. It's embracing all that information to help yourself grow. And I love being a mentor to others, because I want to help others the way I want to give back. I think Steve said this too. You want to give back. I have people have helped me, and I want to help others as well. And I want to be a mentee, but I also want to be a mentor to help others grow and achieve their goals.
Thank you. The
Hey,
next,
Linda, can
yes,
I add something to that? Because I think
yes,
Wendy touched on a lot of great things. And I think that's one of the things that we don't talk enough about is mentoring. And a lot of, like when I became a Toastmaster, a lot of clubs do assign mentors when people become a Toastmaster, but there are clubs that don't have a mentoring program, and they don't assign. And so I think one of the things that I would love for all of us as Toastmasters to get into the habit of is evaluating our individual growth plan, right? Where do you want to go, and where do you see your challenges? And then look for people that you meet throughout the district. Like when you go to a TLI, or you go to a contest, or you go to the conference, or even when you have a webinar and you're on the webinar with other people, as you identify people who have certain strengths or certain things about their leadership or their style that is something that you find in your growth plan that you could benefit from, tap them on the shoulder and ask them, hey, can you be my mentor? And people, you might think that people may not want to do it, but people love to help. And so most often, if you ask somebody to be your mentor, they will. And especially when you're in a new leadership role, there's always, we have the manuals, we go through the training, but it's only so much you're going to learn from reading a book. Most everything you learn is going to be hands-on, and every single experience is going to be different, right? And like when I served as an area director the first year, my second year was totally different year. I had totally different clubs, totally different people, totally different experiences. And so the things I learned the first year were great that I learned them, but the second year I had to learn new stuff, right? And so having a mentor gives you a sounding board, right? To throw off ideas, to learn from their experiences, how they've navigated through things and things that they worked through. When I became club growth director, the trio does interviews with all of the international director candidates before the election. And one of the international directors that are candidates at the time was Louisa Davis. She's Region 1 international director now. But she was one of the people, and she talked about some things that she had accomplished during her years when she was on the trio. And there were a lot of things in there that she talked about from club growth perspective that I was like, I need to learn that because I don't know anything about marketing. I don't know anything. And so I reached out to her and I asked her if she could help me find a mentor, somebody that she worked with in her team that would mentor me. And so she hooked me up with a gentleman named Mike Bond. He's in Canada, and he was a media pass district director at that time. But that was such a great year because I got an opportunity to not just learn how to do my role, but he's in a totally different region, a totally different country, and had a totally different experience on how to market a Toastmasters, how to work with people to help the clubs, how to even build clubs, and doing it in a totally different way than what we do here. And that helped give me a whole different perspective of leadership and a whole different set of ideas. But that would never have happened if I didn't take the opportunity to ask, right? And so looking at everything you do, even if it's not in this district, you may go to an event that's in a totally different district and somebody may catch your attention and hit you. If you can, reach out to them and learn from them. But I think that that mentoring is one of the things that's going to take your development in Toastmasters as a leader, as a communicator, to a whole different level. And it doesn't matter whether you aspire to go in higher leadership or anything, just for you in your development plan, where you plan to go for your communication development or your leadership development, mentoring is one of those things that can take you to that level. But it starts with us asking and finding and reaching out to those people who have the skills and the talents that we want to aspire to develop.
Oh, thank you so much. The next question is for Steve Grant. As an area director, can you have an assistant? And if you can, why would you want to have an assistant?
Great question, Linda. You can have an assistant for as many different things that you determine need to take place. Oftentimes, the template that is used is similar to the template at the trio level. You've got someone for an education piece, someone for club membership, and there's several others that you can consider. But if you really want to excel in your leadership of helping the clubs, you also can excel with a team building you up, getting your things accomplished. And at the point that you end your career as an area director, you now possibly have a replacement for yourself. So great things can be done.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. The next question is for Wendy. One of the meetings that the area director attends is the district executive committee. Please explain what that is and what your role as an area director in that meeting.
Well, thank you very much. The district executive council, I got to get all my abbreviation, all my letters correct. You know, most of us work in those companies where all these letters. So the district executive council, it's just like any other executive council. It's at the district level, and it includes all the district leaders, all the area directors, all the division directors, the president, the secretary. Did I get that right? I think so.
Actually, there's two. There's the district council, and then there's the district executive council. So there's two councils.
Oh, that's right. It's so hard to keep all these councils, but no matter what council it is, there's different ones. You got division councils, area councils, district councils. They're all over the place. But anyways, the biggest thing about these council meetings, all of them, no matter who's having them, it's about communication. It's about talking about what's going on, whether it's from the district level, division, or a division level or area level. The district level, they're talking about district items, and it gets everybody's buy-in and communicating stuff to be a part of what's going on in the district. We don't want to have a district where they're just they're just having meetings all by themselves. This is so everybody is involved, because this is not just a single, it's just not, we're just going down the road and we're just doing things. It's about working together from the district level all the way down to the members. It's about everybody working together to communicate ideas, communicate goals, have the mission out there. What are we trying to accomplish and how are we going to accomplish it? And that's the characteristics of any council meeting that anybody is having. That's what my mission is when I have a division area director meeting, is to be able that we're talking the same language, we're meeting the same needs. Am I meeting the needs of what the area directors need? What do they need from me? What can we work on together? What are some pain points that we can talk about? So for whatever level it is, when it comes to the council meetings, it's about communicating ideas, working together, brainstorming. It's not about Luvenia at the top just sending everything downstream. It's about a two-way street and making sure that it's open to everybody, so everybody knows exactly what the whole mission of the entire district is, all the way down to the member level. Because when it comes right down to it, as we all know, we have an inverted triangle here in Toastmasters. The members are at the top of that, and the leadership is at the bottom. We are here to meet the needs of the members, and that's what's so vital about these meetings, is to make sure that we have openness, transparency, and we're all on the same page. Linda.
I'd like to
Oh.
add to that.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Steve.
At the very basic level for an area director, these DEC meetings, District Executive Council meetings,
Mhm.
offer additional training.
Yes, thank
And
you.
you have instantly so many more mentors just sitting around you during the sessions, or you're having a meal across the table from.
Yep. Thank you for adding that, Steve.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
I'll add one more thing to that. You're also the voice of your clubs to the district, right?
Yep.
You're the closest person to the clubs as an area director, because you know what the clubs are challenged with, you know what they're experiencing, and you get that opportunity to be that voice to the trio, right?
Mhm.
And so the things that the clubs need the support in and need the help in, you're that voice to us to say, this is what the clubs need. And you help guide the direction that, or the things that we do in the district to provide the support to the club. So your role is very important. A lot of people think that because area directors is the first level of district leadership, that is not a significant role. But I think it's a very, very important role, because you are the face to the clubs of the district, right? And so most of what the club's experience is going to be, and what they think or believe about the district and the leadership of the district, is going to be what they learn from you. And the help that they get in their clubs from the district is going to come from your voice to say, this is what needs to happen in the district for these clubs.
Thank you.
Thanks for that, both of you, for adding on.
My next question is for Steve Grant, is in regard, you may start as an area director, but can you continue to grow in leadership by moving on to different levels? And can you explain what the different levels of leadership is in the district?
The short answer is absolutely. Let me just add just a little bit to that last stream that we had. When you take a look at the organizational chart for Toastmasters, as Wendy explains, the inverted, I always like to ask in the training classes, how many different places do you see area director in that organizational chart? And you see it specifically at 3 different places. Nobody else has that many in that chart. And it's by reference with the district council. So an area director is identified 4 times in that scheme of things. So that makes them very important, even though they're the bottom rung of district, or in the inverted case, they're the top rung of the district, if you will. Okay, so getting back to the question at hand, certainly you can move forward from area director. One of the ways is to move up the chain of command, if you will, division director, and then you move to the trio, but there's many other opportunities to be developed along the way. One of the roles at the district level at the top is logistics manager, and that's not necessarily in the rung of things as you move up, but I think we have, some of us have expressed, that's where we also ended up ourselves. It's that you get to know these people, you get the experiences, you get all the benefits that we've all been talking about over these last few minutes of mentorship, support, experience, learning, all of that. And it can just take you places. The sky's the limit. There's more duties, more jobs that are available to do in this district than we have people to fill them. So look up and look beyond.
Great. Did anyone else on the panel, Wendy or Luvenia, would like to comment on that as well?
I think Steve, Steve said it all. I just will definitely just enforce that there's so many opportunities, whether it's division director, logistics manager, committees. Getting involved in committees is very important as well, and it really does help you grow.
Right. Yeah, I echo that. And I know Steve talked about the logistic manager, and I think a lot of the support, like a lot of they call the top 7 positions outside of the trio, the other 4 are very important district leadership roles. The public relations manager, you have the admin manager, and then you have the finance manager. All of those are very critical roles in order for the district to be successful. And so even if you don't want to go into one of the elected positions like the trio, those are some very good roles to get into, especially if you find, as an area director, if you find that there's a certain aspect of the role that you feel is a key strength of yours, you may want to bring that in. So whether it's a logistics manager or whether it's the admin manager or public relations manager, those are some great opportunities. But even if you don't want to go into a higher level of district leadership, Steve talked about, like, we have a lot of different committees. We have the conference committee, we have the district education and training committee, we have the alignment committees, we have, and then we have all of the subcommittees that are on the on the public relations team, or on the program quality team, or on the club growth team. And all of those are really critical roles to help move the district forward. And so those are also opportunities that, even after serving as an area director, that you may want to take as a next step to work on specific skills to further develop yourself in.
Great, thank you. I'd like to ask Judy and Lamar, you've heard the questions and answers today. Is there any other questions that you may want to ask us at this time? Judy, would you go first? Is any other questions?
Not at this moment, but probably within about 15 minutes after this panel is done and everybody's going back to their Saturday afternoon, I'll think of 1,000 of them.
Okay.
However,
Well,
as it was mentioned earlier, Toastmasters is full of mentors, and it really hit me at the conference. I signed up to work the registration table the whole weekend, thinking, what better way to get to know people? First time going to one of the conferences, I'm going to meet everybody as they walk in that door. And coming from a government background, because I worked for the government for over 30 years, I am not used to people, especially those who in Toastmasters are at the bottom of the triangle, but are at the top of the leadership, feeding into those of us that they didn't even know, the way that I have experienced District 40. And there are so many people that if I passed them in the grocery store, they wouldn't know me. And I would probably be like, I think I know that face, but I'm not sure. But I know I can reach out and people are going to help. And even other area directors like Lamar, who really made me feel valued when he asked me to come and speak at his club. And I don't think he realized how much that touched me. So Lamar, thank you. But this is a great district. I'm glad I'm in it. I have so much to learn, but I know that I've got help. So thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Lamar, do you have any questions or comments that you would like to share with us?
This was very helpful, very enlightening. And also, I noticed that this is recorded. So that
Yes.
means that we can go back and look at it again. It's okay, awesome. Thank you for doing that. Really appreciated hearing all of you all's thoughts in terms of being on the panel, and your wisdom that you share has really been really grateful. I've been really grateful to hear the things that you share. And you're welcome, Judy. It was an honor to be able to invite you to our club. And that came from another conversation, much like the one like we're having right now, and was provided a space for us to be able to share the things that we're doing, things of that nature. And long and behold, a relationship is sparked between Judy and I. So we're looking forward to having you to come and speak to our club. The question I have is, I haven't really seen much presence in terms of an area director, in terms of visits, and like it's sort of kind of been like uh, fly by, if you will. Like, it's who is my area director? Um, it's sort of kind of been all like not really clear as to what that is or what role they're playing. So it seems like now there's a more intention to be focused on who is the area director, what clubs they're visiting, things of that nature. So I do appreciate these efforts to have more of an understanding of what is expected to be in this role. So I wanted to ask you all, have you all had a secretary with anyone in the role of area director? I know, Steve, you said that you could have one, as many as you need or whatnot, but has anyone had a secretary in this role, or know of someone who had a secretary? And if so, how were you able to work together to fulfill the role?
Steve, would you like to address that question?
I have not had a secretary in the role. Oftentimes what happens is I take the notes just so people can show up and contribute to it. So, but the secretary that I had as club president the first time around was just instrumental. The position can add so much to what you're trying to accomplish.
Wendy, would you like to address Lamar's question?
Yeah, as an area director, I did not have a secretary. I've been very fortunate as a division director last year and this year that I do actually have an assistant that serves as a secretary and an assistant at the same time. So on a division level, I have been able to fulfill that. I have found in my 2 years of area director, it was a little harder to fill that position and really kind of get your area filled with assistants. So it seemed to get better, but having assistants is great, and having somebody that can help you with the note taking. From me, I have a hard time keeping notes and talking at the same time. So just reaching out to the clubs, reach out to the clubs and say, hey, is anybody interested in doing that? Because I do believe that is something, it is a need of you really do need assistance, because it's hard to do it by yourself, to take the notes, you're going to the clubs. And there's so many things you can be doing that can clear you up if you have a full team, not just a secretary, but just have a couple assistants that can help you along the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much to the panel members and the area directors that were able to join us today. It is time for us to close, but before we depart, I'd like to ask Luvenia Boyer, our district director, to provide any closing comments she would like to share with us.
Well, thank you, Linda. Thank you so much for leading this panel and helping to be a support to the district to ensure that we can provide whatever information and support to all of the members who step up to service in the district. I am so grateful for each of you for attending, but so much for the support that each of you give for the district, whether, Wendy serving as a division director and Judy and Lamar serving as area directors, and Steve Grant just being a support to helping to mentor and to guide all of us this year. He's a past district director or past district governor, and that community of people is a great support to the district. They exist and they meet consistently to be of guidance and assistance to helping us to get the support to leading the district. So I appreciate him helping with this as well. But the one thing I definitely want to say, this year, I think we talked a lot about mentoring and the significance of mentoring. But I want you guys to know when you step up to serve, not only just an area director, but if you step up to serve in any district support role, that you will get the support, you'll get the guidance that you need to be successful. I think one of the things that I really try to remind people of is that this is a development organization, and we all join Toastmasters so that we can develop our communication and our leadership skills. So no one who steps in these roles are expected to be perfect. No one who steps in these roles are expected to know the role because it's development, right? And so we kind of hope you don't know what you're doing so that you can learn how to do it. And the less you know when you step in the role, the better, because you don't have all that other stuff to kind of navigate and get in the way, right? And you can really learn the role and do it justice. So, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to not have the answers or to not know, because you have a support team of people who are there to help you and to give you the guidance if you have questions, you can ask any of us these questions at any time. And if we don't have the answers, we will help you find the answers, but you just be assured that you will have the support. And as you meet people in your clubs and talk about share your role as an area director, I appreciate, Lamar talking about the fact that there has been an absence in the presence of area directors in the district over the past few years. And one of our goals this year is to bring those area directors front and center, because I personally believe that the area directors are the key to the club's success, right? Because they're the front line to help the clubs. And if the area directors aren't there helping the clubs don't really get the help that they need. And our desire is to make sure that every club in the district gets the help that they need and feel supported. And so this year, you guys are really important, and I will continue saying that you're important, and I will make you feel important. Don't hesitate to share with me your thoughts and your ideas on things that you think could help even make serving the role of area director even that much more supported and helping you to be successful. Spread the word. We are looking for area directors. We still need area directors for Division B in the Columbus area and for Division D in the Cincinnati area. So if you know people who are interested, please encourage them to step up. And this is a great opportunity to just start practicing your networking skills and start learning, and you don't have to be perfect. But I just want to say thank you with that, and I hope everybody has a great rest of their day, and I look forward to seeing you guys at our next meetings.
Great. Thank you,
Yes,
everyone.
thank you, Judy and Lamar. Thank you and congratulations. And I'm looking forward to working with both of you in the coming year.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much.
Thank you, and thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Enjoy your
Bye.
day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.